1998 induction ceremony for the Tahanto chapter of the National Honor Society. Membership in the National Honor Society is one of the highest honors that can be awarded to a high school student. A 5-member faculty council selects students who demonstrate outstanding performance in the areas of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Membership to the society is not only an honor and a privilege, but also a responsibility and an obligation to your local chapter, your school, and your community. I will begin this evening's ceremony by lighting the first candle, a symbol of the eternal light of knowledge. I would now like to introduce Holland McDonald, who will speak about the history of the National Honor Society.
In 1919, J.G. Masters, a principal of Central High School in Omaha, Nebraska, made the proposal of the National Honor Society at the annual convention of the National Association of Secondary School Principals. The proposal was not passed until 1921, when the first chapter of the National Honor Society was awarded to the Fifth Avenue High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The hope of the NASSP was to create an organization that would recognize and encourage academic achievement, stimulate a desire to render service, promote worthy leadership, and encourage the development of character in the nation's secondary school students. The National Honor Society has flourished since 1921. Today there are more than 12,500 chapters chartered. The National Junior Honor Society, founded in 1929, has also experienced encouraged development with more than 6,000 chapters. The Tahanto chapter of National Honor Society was founded in 1962 and has since involved more than 350 members. Our current members have devoted themselves to community service and have emphasized leadership skills. We as a group have helped to establish the Homework Club here at Tahanto. In addition, we adopted a child through the Angel Tree program at Christmas time. We have stayed in touch by writing letters each month and recently took our adoptee and a friend out to dinner and roller skating. Individually, members have visited nursing homes, fed food to the homeless, participated in Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, tutored peers and younger children, and participated in such programs as SHARE and Habitat for Humanity.
the Tahanto chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of the four qualities held in high esteem by the Society. 5 of our members will give their interpretations of these qualities for the inductees. Scholarship.
Scholarship is the character, qualities, activity, or attainments of a scholar. It is scholarship that recognizes those individuals with the drive to succeed. Today we recognize these students who for a number of years have worked hard to earn this privilege to serve on this chapter of the National Honor Society. As a word of wisdom, success is how high you bounce when you hit bottom, says General George Patton. My fellow National Honor Society members and I welcome you, the new inductees, into this school's chapter of the National Honor Society. I end with the words of Pierre Corneille: the manner in which it is given is worth more than the gift. Cherish this single moment and remember how you earned it.
Results in Roses by Edgar Guest. The man who wants a garden fair, or small or very big, with flowers growing here and there, must bend his back and dig. The things are mighty few on earth that wishes can attain. Whatever we want of any worth, we have to work to gain. It matters not what goal you seek. Its secret here reposes. You've got to dig from week to week to get results or roses. And persevere, from the Guppy's Reader. The fisher who draws his net too soon won't have any fish to sell. The child who shuts up his book too soon won't learn his lessons well. If you would have your learning stay, be patient, don't learn too fast. The man who travels a mile each day may get round the world at last.
Service is any action done for others without any kind of financial or physical compensation to the person who performs the act of service. The willingness to work for the benefit of others who are in need without compensation is a quality which the National Honor Society seeks in its membership. The National Honor Society is committed to the concept of volunteering one's time and abilities to create a better future for all. And now I will read a poem about service. It is called The Question. Were the whole world good as you, not an atom better? Were it just as pure and true, just as strong in faith and works, just as free from crafty quirks, all extortion, all deceit, schemes its neighbors to defeat, schemes its neighbors to defraud, schemes some culprit to applaud, would this world be better? If the whole world followed you, followed to the letter, would it be a nobler world? All deceit and falsehood hurled from it altogether, malice, selfishness, and lust, banished from beneath the crust, covering human hearts from view. Tell me, if it followed you, would the world be better?
Leadership is one of the most important qualities a member of the National Honor Society can have. Leadership is something one can exhibit by holding an office in high school, such as class president. Leadership is also a quality one can exhibit in the classroom or in the community. A student who exercises leadership is resourceful in solving problems, demonstrates initiative in school activities, and contributes ideas and displays positive attitude. Those who possess and display leadership are reliable and dependable, while at the same time maintaining a high academic average and performing service activities.
Character is one of the hardest qualities to define because it varies entirely from person to person. Character was Abraham Lincoln, who lost over 2/3 of the elections he ran in, but strove to be remembered as one of the most humble and honorable figures in American history. Character is the drive behind Peekaboo Street's freckled face that won her a gold medal in the downhill after suffering a severe knee injury and not training on snow all summer. Our character is expressed with our words and actions, but sometimes more strongly by not saying or doing anything at all. It's the athlete that's fouled and doesn't yell at the ref. It's the student that gets the lowest grade on the test, but without cheating. It's the friend that stays sober to drive everyone else home. Throughout our lives, our character is a running compilation of how we react to victory, defeat, and disaster. Getting back on the bike after crashing and crashing and crashing until we could ride smoothly without training wheels gave us all character. Sharing the toy that we hated to see in anyone's hands but our own gave us character. And the junior high girl's infinite quest to have the highest bangs, that was character too. It's everything from responsibility to fairness, self-control to determination, and perseverance to trustworthiness. Our character lights the unique twinkle in each of our eyes, the role in each of our lives, and the destination of each of our dreams. Character consists of what you do on the third and fourth try, and how you apply what you learn from persevering to reach uneasily accomplished goals. Character is the defining quality of individuality and diversity. It isn't color, race, family, or society that sets us each apart. The compilation of life's lessons displayed in each of our hearts is our character, the true distinguishing quality.
I would now like to introduce our principal, Mr. John Driscoll, who will conduct the induction of new members.
We live in a society that offers many challenges to our youngsters. The students before you display high standards by making decisions and judgments in a manner which it has attributed to their success. They have placed their goals for achievement in the proper perspective and are therefore fine representatives of their families, school, and community. High achievement is the result of many positive factors: initiative, ability, school environment, and parental influence all provide an avenue for high achievement. Parents, in a very real sense, you share this honor this evening with your son or daughter. It is you who have provided the basis for the development of your child's character. You have given them the backing and encouragement to make them outstanding students. Parents, this evening I congratulate you as well. The senior members of the National Honor Society will be attending some of the finest colleges and universities in the country. We hope that all of you continue to take pride in your achievements, continue to win awards, and achieve all of the successes life has to offer you. The members of the junior class will attend our school for another year. I am sure they will continue to achieve success and accomplish the goals they have set for themselves. They will be our academic and social leaders in the next school year. In being inducted into the Tahanto chapter of the National Honor Society, I ask that all of you place this award in its proper context. Take pride in your achievements and continue to achieve success. As principal of the school, I am very proud of you. Representing the staff and the faculty, I offer my most sincere congratulations. I extend to you my best wishes for every success in your future endeavors. At this time, we will have the induction of the students. The process will be that I will call each student's name. They will come up and receive their certificate and pin. They will then sign the register and light the candle from the candelabra that we have on the stage. I would ask that you please hold your applause until all of the students have been inducted. Christine Eaton will have the students recite the National Honor Society pledge first.
Being aware of the honor which is bestowed upon me, do pledge myself always to seek the light of truth, to hold scholarly habits, to engage in worthy service, and to lead forward in all things, that shall advance the welfare of my school and of the surrounding community.
Crystal Hopkins is the Vice President of Student Council, but her leadership skills aren't just obvious in the classroom. She's also a captain of the varsity soccer team and helped lead them through a very successful season. She will continue her high level of play in college. However, not everything comes easily to Crystal as soccer does. Pulling handles, centering clay, and hand-building methods aren't as natural to her. But through determination, she never gives up, even when things seem impossible. When not on the soccer field or in school, you can find Crystal singing Christmas carols, to bedridden patients, calling bingo to senior citizens, and collecting canned foods to fight hunger.
Tracy Jocelyn has been a very active member of the Student Council. She has done many service projects, including helping out at the nursing home and doing numerous walkathons in which she raised money. She has also been able to participate in 2 varsity sports, soccer and softball, while holding down a part-time job and doing an exceptional job in the classroom.
Zach has excelled in his classes to get good grades and still balanced his schedule to play 3 sports. Zach has showed his leadership skills by leading by example and sharing his talents and knowledge of sports to help other players improve. Zach also spends his time doing community service as a student council member. Zach has shown a lot of character and doing his best and striving to succeed at every task he is challenged with.
In the last 2 years, Cassie has held a steady job at Davidians and is presently working with the Gap. She volunteers in inpatient pediatrics at UMass Medical. She is an active member of her church group and has participated in its activities. Cassie has been in band for 2 years playing clarinet and is a member of the council this year. In the 9th grade, she kept herself occupied as being the class vice president and a member of the Student Advisory Council. This year, she is a secretary of SAD and will be looking forward to a position next year as a 1998-1999 co-editor of the yearbook. Cassie has also been very active in varsity field hockey since 10th grade. Christina has participated in 2 varsity sports this year, basketball and softball. In December, January, and February, she helped out at basketball clinics held every other weekend. Christina plays the guitar and on some weekends plays with a jazz band. She has been class treasurer during her sophomore and junior years. In 1997, she took time to walk in the Walk for Hunger. Meanwhile, Christina makes her income with various babysitting jobs.
As a junior, Adam Bristette has been an active member of Tahanto's Student Council. As part of the Student Council, Adam volunteered his time at nursing homes, and he participated in the Walk for Diabetes to help raise money for diabetes research. He has demonstrated leadership and character as a member of the Student Council, as well as scholastic achievement throughout his high school career. Adam has fulfilled all 4 qualities of the National Honor Society, and so he has earned his place in the National Honor Society.
Lauren Keefe has done many things to help her community. She helped organize and run Berlin's Town Fair and St. Joseph's Fair. She also volunteered at a summer Bible school. She's been able to juggle playing 3 varsity sports while holding down a part-time job during the school year and a full-time job during the summer, all the while maintaining a solid academic average.
Lauren Paul is the definition of a great athlete who shows dedication, leadership, and hard work as means for competitive success. She's a captain of the basketball team, a great first baseman on the softball team, and serves as lead cheerer on the bench of the varsity soccer team. Lauren's talents don't end in sports, though. She's been a Girl Scout since the 2nd grade and volunteers at Girl Scout camps. She's a person who's always puts her best foot forward and is willing to give anything a shot. Being only in her 2nd year at Tahanto, Lauren Paul has very successfully acclimated herself to this environment and used her positive attitude, caring nature, and competitive drive to befriend, lead, and succeed with those around her.
Melissa Stroud lives in Chaldron and has been a student at Tahanto for 5 years. During her years at Tahanto, Melissa has been involved in many school activities, including the junior class dinner, JV softball, Student Advisory Council, Girls State, and Model United Nations. She has also held offices. She has been the 1997 varsity field hockey captain, vice president of SAD, and next year she will be the co-editor of the 1998-1999 yearbook. In addition to her school achievements, Melissa has also participated in a number of out-of-school services. She has worked in the Inner City Vacation Bible School, the nursery at Holden Chapel, Children's Haven, 30-Hour Famine, Boylston Elementary School, and has been a Sunday school helper at her church. Bob Spenning lives in Boylston and has been a student at Tahanto for 5 years. In the past 5 years, Bob has become one of Tahanto's most involved students. Bob participates in just about everything, from the junior class dinner, Boys State, leadership conferences, the Eddie production, Model United Nations, and co-founding the Astronomy Club, to being on the varsity basketball team and golf team. Bob is also a member of Tahanto's Student Council, through which he has been involved in Spirit Week and the Massachusetts Association of Student Councils statewide conference held in Cape Cod. This year, Bob serves as the council's treasurer. Bob is also the current president of his class. Bob is not only involved in school-related activities, but out-of-school activities as well. Bob has been a volunteer at UMass, taught second grade CCD, walked for diabetes, and visits the Thornton Nursing Home.
Aubrey Vachon is an avid athlete, participating in field hockey, softball, and is a two-time cheerleading league all-star. While being a studious student, Aubrey also volunteers at the Boylston Elementary School, directing and writing skits with Christmas pageants. She is a member of SAD Yearbook, the Band Council, the Prom Committee, and is the junior class secretary, and also will be representing Tahanto at Girls State. As active as she still maintains a job at a local golf course. Aubrey's future goal is to one day be a journalist and has well prepared herself by becoming editor-in-chief of the school newspaper.
Justin Zulioli, who I was very fortunate to get to know, shows an interest in sports. He has played basketball, baseball, cross country, and church volleyball. You could say he has an athletic intuition. Using his talent, Justin has helped out in the youth group basketball program. When I asked the question, what is the one thing you want more than anything in this world, we responded with a common answer: I want a lot of money. I guess that is just about what everyone wants. Justin hopes to attain the goal of becoming an engineer, and the best of luck to him. Justin, with his athletic intuition, involves himself in collecting with basketball cards. I wish the best for Justin in the coming of his senior year and his membership on the National Honor Society.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I present to you the 1998 chapter of the Tahanto Regional High School National Honor Society.
Our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Keith Pfeiffer.
Last night, returning from a rather late board meeting, I still had to put some thoughts together for this meeting. And I was searching for an appropriate analogy, and I turned on the television, and I was informed in one commercial that the last showing of The Wizard of Oz, at least repeatedly, would be on Sunday night, at least on national television for the last time. And I guess like The Wizard of Oz, life is a journey. Dorothy had a goal. She had a mission. She wanted to return home. And in that journey, there were many things that she faced. One, it was not without some work and some dedication. It was a long distance. And excellence is not a quality of the short term, but rather of the long term that you need to be dedicated to. Two, I'm sure in your life you'll meet some rather interesting characters. Some of them I hope will inspire you. And I hope that the faculty here has inspired you and challenged you to be everything you can. And lastly, I think if you join together with your friends and neighbors, we all can make this a better world and a better place. And Dorothy and her interesting characters that she met all reached a place that they wanted to go. And I hope for you, like Dorothy, that sometime you can too return to Kansas. Once again, congratulations and thank you.
There is a faculty member at Tahanto who has been here since the school opened its doors in 1962. During his tenure at Tahanto, this teacher initiated the following programs: the Language Lab for teaching of foreign languages such as French, Spanish, Latin, and the Pep Club, which installed the backboards presently in the gymnasium. Thirdly, he instituted the first chapter of the National Honor Society. He also was a varsity softball coach for 15 years, class advisor for several classes spanning 20 years, school treasurer for 26 years, and the foreign language department head for about 15 years. In addition, this teacher has also had a distinguished military career, including 7 years in the U.S. Coast Guard and 20 years in the U.S. Army Reserve. As he leaves Tahanto this year, he will take with him many memories, particularly the memory of the first senior class prank. The class planted in the new lawn a variety of vegetables fertilized with their youthful imagination. However, he says he will miss the chance to be involved in education the most. He plans to continue to remain in the education process in the coming years and leaves the Tahanto students with these words of advice: school is a passport to the future, so get involved and look out for yourselves. This man is an excellent French and Latin teacher at Tahanto. He has brought first-hand language experience to his students by taking them on 5 trips to France, 12 trips to Canada, and numerous overnight trips to New York and Washington, D.C. Perhaps the best testimonial to him as a teacher is seen in the many letters, cards, and even emails that he receives from graduates throughout the year thanking him for his professionalism, caring, and inspiration. Because this teacher has dedicated the past 36 years of his teaching career to scholarship, leadership, character, and service, we would like to honor Mr. Plord by making him an honorary member of the Tahanto National Honor Society.
Sometimes things happen in life that are very unexpected. This evening, for instance, when my wife put my jacket on, she happened to put the jacket on which I wear my meritorious service medal. It's a medal that is given to personnel upon their retirement from the military, and it's one that is sought and wanted by many people, but not many people get it. I didn't seek the MSM, as it is affectionately known. I just did my work. And same here at Tahanto, when I hear all of the things that I've done, I just thought it was my job. This medal, this pin, which I have given to many students over the years when I was the NHS advisor, is going to go on another jacket. And as the jackets fall, I don't dress myself up. I never have. That's no lie. I don't even polish my shoe. I polish my boots, though, you know. This will go on the jacket, and whatever occasion it is, it will be displayed like I keep it here. Most of these pins end up in a drawer somewhere, and it's lost until you clean the drawer and you happen to see it. I believe that this is very important, as this one is also very important to me. I was thinking this evening, not just this evening right here, things that my mind is really racing. I think about John F. Kennedy in his inaugural speech where he says, "It is time to pass the torch to a new generation." And I'm ready to do that. I think about a poem that I use many times in the NHS induction ceremony, a poem by Robert Frost, where he suggests that one takes the path not taken. And I'm ready for that. As I leave, I'd like to, as long as I have a forum, and this doesn't happen to us very often. This is the first time in 36 years that I have the opportunity to speak to the student body or to members of the community. Teaching 36 years means about almost 4 decades. And in these 4 decades, we saw many things happen. Back in the 60s, we lived with a group of students who were giving us challenges every single day. But as we went to our classrooms, we had one thing in mind, and that was the student. In the 70s, we did the same thing. Every time we did something, it was always for the students. I happen to serve on a school committee. I've been a school committee person for 8 years now. And all school committee people, hopefully, when they seek this position, do so for one purpose and one purpose only. And that's what we affectionately call the kids. The central office has a superintendent, and the superintendent didn't go through many years of education just to put an extra buck in his pocket, etc. It was for one reason, and one reason alone, the kids. The administration and the day-to-day activities finds itself with burdens here and there and everywhere, but at one particular point they think the reason that they became administrators is because of the kids. The classroom teacher also. Many times, not that we fail, but many times we don't really stop and think about the kids. And yet, that's the reason why we are in the classroom. Above and beyond that, with the advent of the Educational Reform Act in 1993, of which I am a staunch supporter, and I support the MCAS exams also, we find a new dimension that was lacking in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. In 1993, another focus came into play, and that was the parents. And the parents had one specific mind in becoming a member of the School Improvement Council. Parents with kids in school and parents at large reflecting the community for one purpose and one purpose only, the kids. Even today, the parents at large and the student body, as I read through educational journals, which I get almost every single day, as you know, members of the school committee, we get a lot of material to read. The focus now is on the student themselves. And for the students not to participate in the educational process, in which I firmly believe is really today a travesty. As I leave the Berlin-Boylston School District, I leave with one thing in mind. Whether it's at the school committee level, the superintendent's level, the central office, the administrators, the teachers, the parents, and the students. Please consider that each one of these in the hierarchy of education in any school system, and particularly this one here, that every one of us, every one of you, including the students, have an equal part in the educational process. You are the leaders of the school. Take part and insist that you have an equal part in the education, not just of your next 2 years, but the entire school system. Thank you very much for your time.
Please, Dr. John Manasian is our guest speaker. Dr. Manasian is a graduate of Worcester Polytechnic Institute, holding advanced degrees in mechanical systems and operations engineering. A member of the faculty of the Management Department of WPI, Professor Manasian is a noted expert in the field of productivity modeling and assessment. His research has made him an associate member in the Society of Sigma Psi and the nation's leading honor society for the pure and applied sciences, and he is a member of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers and American Society of Industrial Engineers. John has won numerous awards for his research, teaching, and community service, including being named Who's Who in American colleges and universities and Who's Who in the East. He was named the Alan Oakham Advisor of the Year and is a recipient of the Phi Zeta Award for outstanding service to the community. A noted business leader, John is past president of Cirrus Computers, Incorporated, and is a past director of Wang Laboratories. He has held positions as Chief Information Officer in 2 Fortune 500 companies and is a leading business consultant in operations, productivity, and information systems management. Dr. Manasian has been Artistic Director of the New England Chorale since its inception in 1988 and was also Director of Music for the First Congregational Church in Boylston, Mass., where he became acquainted with members of our community. Known for his advising abilities, John is faculty advisor to the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity at WPI and has recently been nominated for a 4-year term on the National Board of Governors of Lambda Chi International.
We're going to take a different tack tonight on the concept of leadership and what it means to be one of the elite few that are chosen to be part of the National Honor Society. Today, you're joining the ranks of one of the largest, most prestigious, most respected organizations within your school and throughout the nation, the National Honor Society. Wow. Some of you knew you'd always be here. And for others, this was something you had to work real hard for. Something that was difficult to come by, something that took you lots of work, lots of time, and lots of struggle. Is it what you'd expect it to be? for most of you, not the least. Being in the National Honor Society isn't necessarily what we all think it to be. I want to take a few minutes tonight to really talk about the responsibility you've undertaken as being part of something with a long, prestigious history. Becoming part of the intellectual elite, the boss. Everybody talked about you being the leaders, the people who are going to be in charge. And the responsibility of what that really entails. Why people say it's lonely up top. And some of the things you might want to consider to not only survive, but also to flourish. See, everybody out there thinks you have it all together. You're the most successful. You're the smartest. You're the ones everybody should follow. Well, are you having fun? Wait a minute. This assumes being smart means you have fun. What about hard study? What about work? Well, let's try another tack. Are you earning the respect of all the people around you? Well, maybe as long as you're not too smart. Remember, don't be a wise Alex. Don't be too smart. You think you're so smart. Don't be a geek. Don't be a nerd. Some of these are funny. You could actually laugh, but that's okay. Funny, being smart isn't always cool. Well, then let's go for another one. If you're so smart, what have you done? Well, geez, I'm only 16 or 17. What do you expect me to have done? Wait a minute, I have the answer. Being smart isn't always fun. It's lots of work. Everybody expects everything from you. And once in a while they give you a plaque and maybe a pen. Let's face it, you represent a bunch of inconsiderate people that stress you out, place unfair expectations on you, and no matter what you do, it doesn't always seem to be enough. Worse yet, they're just waiting for you to make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, somebody will be quick to say, wait a minute, what did you do? I guess they're probably jealous. If you're like most people who've been at the top, you've always felt like that at some point in your life. How you deal with that is what will cause your success in life. Guests, tonight I want to shed a little bit of light on some of these things. Over the last few years, you've worked hard to attain a level of success most people would envy. Success that's obvious, people have talked about, marked by achievements in academics, sports. Boy, if I could do all the stuff you did in sports, that would be awesome. Of course, at my size, it's hard. Arts and community outreach. In some instances, it was done with ease. And in many others, it was done with discipline, hard work, and sweat. This attainment has given you the right, some would say the obligation, to serve your peers, community, and friends. To serve, that's a funny word. When we work hard for success, we become in charge. That's what people said. It's not our job to serve. But how can we serve and lead at the same time? These are tough questions that managers have been asking for a long time. Service. The task of performing duty to one another. The task of performing duty to another in need. Funny, none of this seems like you've achieved a level where you can do what you want. I earned the right to do what I want. I'm smart now. Obligation. Duty. I didn't ask for this. All I want to do is my schoolwork, go to college, get a good job, and if I remember what Justin said in his speech, and then get that nice car that allows him to drive around and and then maybe get a nice social life from that snazzy new Ferrari or GT3000. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. I'm just a kid. And I don't need the extra grief to serve. Serve what? Serve who? What are you talking about, Asia? I serve on the board of 2 national honor societies. In each of those honor societies, we honor those people whose accomplishments are reflective of the goals and ideals of our organization. As members of the National Honor Society here, you represent the brightest and best of all our secondary school population, with a vision to use your talents to promote, mentor, and build future leaders within our community. A mark of a good leader is the ability to produce new leaders. You now own an obligation to teach and mentor new student leaders through the creation of an exciting new environment here that prides itself in excellence, not mediocrity. Results, not hard work. Vision, not rules. Those changes take time and patience. Patience? God, that's the last thing we have. Nobody's patient at this point. We earn the right to be impatient. So often I see bright people get angry at others around them because they don't take the time to explain the reasoning behind what they've decided to do. You get upset when you're questioned by parents, teachers, and friends. It's almost like you lost their respect. You take it personally. It's your responsibility to make change. And when it doesn't come easily, to communicate your ideas through persuasion, sound reasoning, and logic. It may seem harder to do it this way, but it's imperative you do it this way. Telling people what they should do, or how they should think, or what they should believe, convinces them of nothing. When people tell you to do things without giving you reasons behind them, you rebel. Why shouldn't others? If your ideas are sound and for the good of all, they'll eventually win up. Have patience. Now, what do you do when you can't eventually get your own way? Remember, we said that eventually it will happen. It just may not happen right up front. Well, you can make new rules. That's the defense of people who don't try to work through persuasion and sound reasoning. We make new rules. And you usually suffer the wrath of all the students around you because nobody likes new rules. You can get upset at people. You can holler, get even with them, throw things, even break things. Sound familiar? I'm really not talking about the last student council meeting. I'm really talking about your brothers and sisters, your nieces and nephews. When they don't get their own way, what happens? You can't be emotional. Sound reasoning doesn't function on emotionalism. You gain the respect of the people around you by your ability to handle and deal with adversity. I have to tell you about a recent event that occurred in a fraternity that I advised. The brothers were very upset with the chapter officers for the way they handled one of the events on campus. I was impressed on how the president handled himself. He went into a meeting knowing everybody was angry at him. He was professional, courteous, open to input, even though I know he didn't agree with some of the input being given. And gained a lot of respect from the people around him. Have you been open in your dealings? Do you listen? Have you taken the time to plan correctly? Or do you expect people to take you just at your word? Many times we get angry at others for reacting poorly to things we haven't done properly, prepared or presented adequately. Are you professional? Remember now, you're a bit above the crowd. You were called to be leaders, and you're here to serve and lead. Now I'm going to become a little bit politically incorrect. And please forgive me if this is offensive, I don't mean to be. I want you to think of some of the minorities around. Blacks, Hispanics, gays. Many have poor stereotypes. Many feel embattled, threatened, insecure. It's tough when you know everyone's against you. Tough to worry that the second you say you're part of a given group, the stereotypes just spring to everyone's mind. God, if we see somebody in that minority group on that side of the street, we better walk on the other side of the street. God knows what they'll do. I heard that person's kind of funny. We can't hang out with him. The stereotypes force a thinking that is difficult at best, force an insecurity that many fight to overcome. The need to belong, the need to be respected, the need to be cool. How do the minorities compensate? It's easy. Many of them wear colors, have special words, special rituals, special areas that are theirs. You need to pass tests to belong. And within their groups, many stand out as bosses, as leaders, as motivators. But are they? Think about it. When did you see someone in a boardroom with one pants leg halfway up saying, "Sup, bro"? It just doesn't happen. Even Ellen DeGeneres has been taken off the TV. Guess what? Tonight, you had your ritual. You had to pass your test to get in. You will wear your colors at graduation. You have your particular group of friends and your own places to hang out. Remember, we started with this with it's okay to be smart, but not too smart. Don't become too big for your britches. In my case, that's tough. The britches are large. And yes, we all need to belong to be accepted, to be our definition of cool. Will this make you the leader you want to be? The leader your family, community, and peers will look up to? 20 years from now, will you look back and think you made a difference? Or are you just a bunch of followers that did the same things in the same old way? Let me read you a poem. It's called The Cat Pack. And a dear friend of mine, Professor Pacello, who's nearing retirement and just started taking helicopter lessons, decided when we go and do organizational development speeches that this was a poem that she wanted to explain the need for change. And I thought it was appropriate for tonight. One day through the primeval wood, a cat walked home as good cats should, but made a trail all bent askew, a crooked trail as all cats do. Since then 300 years have fled, and I infer the calf is dead. But still he left behind his trail, and thereby hangs my moral tale. The trail was taken up next day by a long dog that passed that way, and then a wise bellwether sheep pursued the trail o'er vale and steep, and drew the flock behind him too, as good bellwethers always do. And from that day, o'er hill and glade, through those old woods, a path was made. And many men wound in and out, and dodged and turned and bent about, and uttered words of righteous wrath, because 'twas such a crooked path. But still they followed, do not laugh, the first migrations of that cat. And through this winding woodway stalked, because he wobbled when he walked. The forest path became a lane that bent and turned again. This crooked lane became a road where many a poor horse with his load toiled on beneath the burning sun and traveled some 3 miles in one. And thus a century and a half they trod the footsteps of that calf. The years passed on in swiftness fleet, the road became a village street. And this before men were aware, a city's crowded thoroughfare. And soon the central street was this, of a renowned metropolis, and men 2 centuries and a half trod in the footsteps of that calf. Each day 100,000 men followed this zigzag cap again, and o'er his crooked journey went the traffic of a continent. 100,000 men were led by one cap near 3 centuries dead. They followed still his crooked way and lost 100 years each day, for thus such reverence is lent to a well-established precedent. A moral lesson this might teach were I ordained and called to preach, for men are prone to go blind along the cap paths of the mind, and work away from sun to sun to do what other men have done. They follow in the beaten track and in and out and forth and back, and still their devious course pursue to keep the paths that others do. They keep the paths a sacred groove, along which all their lives they move. But how the old wood gods must laugh, who first saw the primeval cap. Many things this tale might teach, but I'm not ordained to preach. Today, you have the ability to shape the future of this high school, to mentor and to lead. You as National Honor Society inductees have an obligation to make a difference to this school and this community. The National Honor Society is not looking for people that measure up positively at this school. Let me say that again. National Honor Society is not looking for people that measure up positively at this school. They're not even looking for people that measure up positively even nationally. They are looking for individuals that strive to set the standards that others are judged by. You've come a long way in attaining this goal. Your challenge is to take your school and community to the next level. Dare to be different. Don't follow the Don't follow the cow paths of long ago traditions. And above all, be loving and caring of those around you in pursuit of your dreams. Thank you for the opportunity of speaking to you. We're all proud of you. We all think the best of you and hope for the best of your futures. And we're proud of each and every one of you. Thank you.
As part of this year's selection process, candidates were asked to write a letter to the teacher who had most impacted their life. We would like to recognize the following teachers: Mrs. Myrtle Thurston, Mr. Thomas Murphy, Mr. William Andrews, Mr. Vincent Keane, and Mr. Andrew Davidson. We, the members of the National Honor Society who were inducted in 1997, would like to thank and recognize our parents, representing them with a yellow rose, the official flower of the National Honor Society, that bears a blue and gold ribbon, the official colors of the National Honor Society. We love you and thank you for all you've done.
The 1997 members of the National Honor Society would also like to recognize Mrs. Berry, our advisor, for her dedication. Thank you, Mrs. Berry. We love you.
I'd now like to introduce Mr. Plord, who will do the induction of the new officers.
The installation of any group of officers is an important and serious occasion. You have indicated your faith and trust in these, your elected officers, to serve for the coming year. Their service and accomplishments depend largely on your cooperation. Following is as important as leading. In any organization, there comes a time when some must lead for a while and others must follow. The National Honor Society is founded upon the principles of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. In all your undertakings, may you always keep in mind these guiding principles. A candle's but a simple thing. It starts with just a bit of string. Yet dipped and dipped with patient hand, it gathers wax upon the strand until, complete and snowy white, it gives at last a lovely light. Life seems so like that bit of string. Each deed we do, a simple thing. Yet day by day, if on life's strand we work with patient heart in hand, it gathers joy, makes dark days bright, and gives at last a lovely light. Will each retiring officer step forward as your name is called and receive a lighted candle, symbol of the flaming torch of freedom and knowledge, and reminding us to bear forward the searching light of truth and to lead others to follow the light.
President Christine Eaton. Vice President Paula McDonald. Secretary Stephanie Paveo. Treasurer Edward Herman.
Outgoing officers, you have made the candles which you will pass on to your successors. You have worked with patient care, made dark days bright. We thank you for all your efforts. They have aided to the history of this organization. We now ask you to pass your lighted candle to your successors. In accepting these offices, you have indicated your willingness to give the best in time and effort to carry out the principles of the National Honor Society. Yours is a great responsibility as well as a privilege. The world today, as never before, needs faithful and efficient leaders, and your school is looking to you to lead its students. With this in view, do you pledge your best efforts to these offices you now accept? If so, new officers, please respond, we do. Hold high the torch. You did not light its glow. 'Twas given to you from other hands, you know. 'Tis only yours to keep it burning bright. For there are other feet that you must guide, and other forms go marching by your side. Someday in turn they'll lift it high and say, I watched another one carry it this way. May your light blaze forth for a successful year, and at the expiration of your term of office, may it be passed on with satisfaction that much was accomplished for the welfare of our school and our organization. Congratulations.